Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the Coding Bootcamp Career Development Channel. I'm your online career coach, Ramon Smith, certified digital career strategist. And for this video, I have a guest, a colleague of mine who did some volunteer work with me for a school called Academy. I forget the name of the academy. What was it?
Eagle Academy.
Eagle Academy up in the Bronx. His name is Jose Sanchez, and he's a data analyst, self-taught. So it's a privilege to have him on. I'm going to let him explain to you guys how he was able to transition successfully into the tech industry, as well as share some information about how you can reach out to him on LinkedIn. So, with that said, Jose, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Um, Tell me about how you got into the tech industry and how, and well, actually, let me back up. Um, Tell me about, or tell us about uh, your present title, role title right now, and how you was able to get to this point.
Sure. So it's pretty cool to see you, man. It's a long time. Good memories. Happy to be here. And as always willing to share information and give others out there exposure into this world of technology. Because there's so much opportunity, especially for people like us, people of minorities. There's a huge opportunities
Yeah.
out there, and
In
you
fact,
know,
just to say this real quick, that's one reason why I do this channel because you're right. The window is so wide open for people of color, for
yeah,
minorities to tap into the tech industry. So
yeah.
absolutely,
And technology, there was a time maybe 20, 30 years ago, technology was the infrastructure side, like networking,
right,
putting cables in and things like that. Today it's, technology is such a large umbrella of jobs that almost anybody can fit in. It's just a matter of you looking to see what you like, and almost guaranteed you're going to be able to fit in. I mean, I'm on the data side. I've met people that are on camera, cell phone side. So
right.
it's very wide spectrum of jobs. But to give you a little bit of background about what I currently do right now, my official title is the Advanced Analytic Analyst. And what I basically do, if you watch the news and you're seeing, our COVID rate is at 10%, our COVID rate is at 20%, crimes at 30%, things like that. I put numbers like that together. And what I'm basically doing is
Wow,
I'm looking at data all day, and what I do is I summarize it. And so those
right.
of us that are in this space, we believe that data actually talks to you, and it actually
Right.
does. You can look at it,
That's right.
and when you start to summarize it, you can start to tell a story. And what I'm able to do with what I'm doing is I've always been involved in the community, always giving back, and I'm actually on the back end now in giving back, in that I'm actually looking for health disparities within the five boroughs of New York City, and we're looking at communities that are underserved,
Yeah.
and then those that are underserved, where there's high utilization of medical services, we can allocate resources to those neighborhoods so that we can help bring down the utilization and help increase the quality of health for not just our members but of all New Yorkers. So it's interesting work. It's a lot of fun. I work with a lot of different people, and it's
Yeah.
tying into a lot of the volunteer work that I've done in the past. So it's pretty
Yeah.
weird how it's all coming back like a full circle of being at first being boots on the ground, in the community, hand in hand, talking to people, and now I'm actually doing the behind the scenes stuff, actually seeing how we can actually allocate resources and what are the communities that are truly being affected.
Nice. Great work, man. Great stuff. Let me dive into this interview with you, my friend, and pose a few questions because the people are definitely going to be interested in your process and how you got to where you were. So I did look at your. This is what's interesting to me because I'm always curious about where someone starts off at. So you started off actually in your academics, not in information or data or tech. You have a Bachelor of Arts in General Studies from Southern New Hampshire University, and you went to Borough of Manhattan Community College and got your associates in liberal arts. So my question is basically describe your journey into the tech industry and how did you become a self-taught individual?
So I started when I came out of high school. I didn't go directly into college. I actually started my own business. I went and became a personal
Nice.
trainer, and I did that for about 10 years. And after
So
10
you were
years,
kind of, and just to pose this very quickly, you were always kind of entrepreneurial and industrious then.
well, I sometimes in Spanish we say uno se lo busca. In English, it means like you go after it. You look
That's
for
right.
it. You're looking for it.
Right.
You're looking for the bag. You're looking for the for
That's
the cheddar.
right.
You're
You
looking
try to
for it.
get that bag. You try to go after that dough.
Yeah, you're looking for it, and there's it wasn't always I always tell people this. You look out your window. Is there a line of people ready to give you a job? So you got to find the way to go look for it. Find the way to make yourself marketable, leverage
Nice.
yourself. So I've always believed in that. You just gotta create opportunities for yourself. And I think one of the biggest things that really changed me and really made me focus more on technology was I was always on the business side of
Right.
things. And if you ever, anyone that's on the business side, what I did was I looked for technical projects on the business side, and I try to leverage my technical talents. And I think that is what really helped me. And I
Nice.
think I had to thank one of the other mentors that I was involved with. And I think this is key. If you whatever industry you want to go in, I think even Warren Buffett said you got to surround yourself with
That's right.
those individuals,
That's right.
and that energy will just rub off on you. And so I was fortunate that Tyrone, which was a mentor many years ago, he had said something I'll never forget it. And I say this all the time. And I said the average salary of someone in the technical field is a six-figure salary. And I was like,
Right.
what? And I had to lean back on the wall and just listen to him talking. I
Right.
stayed nice and quiet, because that was a learning moment right there. And I still remember that from that day on, I said, all right, I'm already a technical lead on the business side. How can I leverage myself into the be more technical? And so almost anybody in whatever role you're in, there's some technical aspect to it. I
That's
can
right.
almost guarantee there's some type of technical aspect to the job that you currently have. I was fortunate in that the job that I had, we had this giant database, and it ran on a daily basis. But with any database requires maintenance, and you have to find ways to make it run a little bit more efficient. And so that started my journey. I started looking at ways to make it run more efficient. I became an expert at running that particular database, and I leveraged that talent into other departments. And I would spruce up my resume to say, "This is what I did." I went. We moved from a like 4 hour window of updating this database to 30 minutes. I was able to do this and this and this to help the database be more efficient, and it led to another job. And then from
Yeah.
that job, I learned as much as I can in that particular space, and I moved on to another job, and I kept doing that.
Yeah.
I If you ever, I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he said
Yeah.
learning is more important than the amount of money you're going to get. And during that time, I was
I
learning a
totally
lot
agree.
because each job had a specific space that I could really learn and leverage myself, and I just kept doing that. And then at the same time, I would come home and there was homework. I would come home, turn
Right.
on YouTube, and look for what I was having difficulty with at work. And then if I had time at work, I would leverage YouTube videos or do a Google search. And that's really how I started my journey on how write code, how to understand how databases work. And that's really how I encourage everyone to learn. You have to want it. That's number one. You have
Right.
to want it.
Agreed.
And if you want it, one thing I've learned in life, if you really want something, you will do whatever it takes to get your hands on it. And
Yeah.
this was a
True.
space I never even thought was possible. Growing up, where with my background, we just didn't see this. We didn't
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
that type of money in growing up. It was like, what? No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
There's no
Trust
way
me. I
that's
know.
out
I grew up under similar circumstances, and you're right. It was just inconceivable.
there. Yeah. And
And
so when you
our
see
track is
somebody,
different.
and when you see somebody that looks like you doing it, and they're saying it like, yeah, yeah, it's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
Like it's like a norm. And you're like, oh really?
But
And then it gives you hope.
yeah, and just to comment on that, that usually is what it takes. If we see someone doing it and they're successfully doing it, like right now, first of all, great reference to some of those classics, literatures, Rich Dad Poor Dad, And I think one of the other ones you alluded to, one of my favorites is the Napoleon Hill one. So basically, using those as references to kind of strengthen our thought process to go get it, as you said earlier. Um, what was it? Napoleon Hill. Trying to think of that
But
title.
when you surround yourself with
Yeah,
like-minded individuals.
you're surrounding yourself, but also at the same time, the title of the book, Think and Grow Rich. You know, and
Yes,
again, surrounding yourself with the people that can help elevate you and give you ideas and mentor you, etc. That's important. Um, I've read a ton of those books, personal and professional development over the years, and they definitely have had an impact on my development, as well as my career and my career choices, and even me personally as a man. So it's given me that much more character. So that's good. I'm following right now NBA agent Rich Paul.
yes, yes. That's
Eh,
another guy.
yeah, man, he
That's
is.
another guy. He's in our
I'm about.
space.
Yeah, man, that guy is intriguing, man, and I'm so happy for him and his success, particularly where he comes from. I'm right now. I'm just watching videos, but I'm about to buy his book and get some more of his insights. And one of the things he says is, everything is an advantage. Once you start thinking things are a disadvantage, no matter what the circumstances were, then that's where you kind of continue to put cement on your
Yes.
feet in terms of
Yeah.
your progress. But once you start thinking them as an advantage in
Yes, I
terms of
agree.
what you can do and turn it into a skill, and more importantly, solve problems. My ethos is always to solve problems. Can you
Yeah.
solve other people's problems? You alluded to it actually in terms of when you talked about doing the research on YouTube and Google searches, and even now with ChatGPT, things like
Yes.
that. If you're able to solve people's problems, then and you increase your value to the marketplace, and you're able to make money. So that's the case, particularly in
Yeah.
the tech industry. So good stuff there.
Yeah. I
Um,
always I like to sometimes say, like, it's funny you mentioned that because I just had conversation with a colleague about that today. Um, you're going to get paid when you take on the difficult challenges
that's right.
because not everybody wants to take them on.
That's right.
And in my what I've how the way I've leveraged myself is give me the tough work, give me the dirty assignments, the hard stuff,
Yeah.
give me the stuff that nobody wants, and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna find a way to make it work. And I built my career on that.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to take on what's hard, what's tough, what nobody wants to do, you're gonna do well in this space because the number one thing you have to want in this space is your mind has to be curious, has to be
That's
interested.
right.
Um, you also have to be, like you said, a problem solver
Yeah.
because if you can take off huge weight off somebody else's plate,
That's right.
they're gonna be greatly appreciative of that. And this I get this all the time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like this super positive guy when I get that message, and I'm told, hey, by the way, we're gonna give this assignment to you. Don't get me wrong. I go through my, like, if I had hair, I would pull it out. You know, I'm human. I'm not a Superman,
That's
but
right. That's right.
but I always say that you see it the first time and